Hi. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start off by introducing myself. My name is Julia. Um, I am going to try to do a series of videos over mental illnesses, PTSD, suicide, depression, anxiety, anorexia, um, a lot of the things that I've been through in my life. Um, what sort of inspired me to do this was an initial blog that I wrote about, 4 years ago. And I actually went to that blog to see if I really don't know what made me do it, but um, it had a little over 10,000 views and a lot of comments, and it made me realize how many people um, are going through suicide surviving, which basically just means that you either witnessed or were very close to someone who died. I did witness the suicide of my boyfriend at 16, and that was what that specific blog was about. And essentially, in 24 hours, I would say a split second after that happened, I went from a fairly happy person, with dreams, goals, all these things, a plan, a life plan. And in a split second, I went from that and having two jobs to I couldn't get out of bed in the morning. And um, that happened about 6 years ago. And um, people on the blog were asking me how I'm doing now and a follow up. And I don't want to make that, I didn't know how to follow it up because it was a very, very depressing blog. And I think a lot of people who are suicidal are looking more for people to relate, not people who are better. Because when I was very suicidal for a few years, I didn't want to hear about the people who got better because to me, that was something that was never going to happen to me. I wasn't going to get better. Um, I did not believe that, and I think that is what drives people to suicide. A lot of times is the belief that it will not get better, and things have been horrible and they always will be. Um, so I kind of just want to kind of challenge that belief in people that it can't get better, um, because it's such a common belief. And depression comes from so many different reasons. It can be biological, it could be a combination of different things, but essentially, with my experiences, with my boyfriend's depression, my depression, other people in my life's depression, essentially, it's all so much alike. Depression is, and suicidal thoughts and ideation, I guess you would call it, is all the same. It all kind of speaks, you know, I don't know, it's all kind of suicidal and depressed people. You will hear the same things come out of their mouth, almost like the depression has consumed and controlled them, taken over their identity a little bit. And depression can do that. Um, what I do want to say is I am doing great now. Great. Um, as far as bad things happening, it doesn't mean that bad things haven't happened to me and aren't happening right now. And I won't go into great detail about the things going on in my life right now. But, I am actually in a situation where things are kind of rocky. But it's the way that I cope with them that is completely different than the way that I used to cope with them. Um, and I'm not saying that I can tell you strategies to cope and then you'll be okay, because that's only learned through experience and everybody's different. My reason for doing this is when I read the blog comments, one person put, "You really helped me." And I had put nothing positive in that blog, which I'll put in the information below, um, the blog post. But I said nothing positive in there, but I think it helped this individual feel less alone. Um, so that is one purpose in doing it, is to make them feel less alone for a second, for a minute maybe. And then another reason, if there is any way to get through, is try to sort of instill the belief in people that if it takes 6 years, 10 years, a decade, if there is even a little light at the end of the tunnel, it's worth going through that tunnel, because when you finally do experience that happiness, it's 10 times greater, because you realize how far you've come and you realize how bad it could be. But I basically have about 20 journals, as I think I stated earlier, and so I'm going to be reading them to kind of give everyone a different perspective on how low I really was at that point in my life. I resorted to everything I could to try to cope with that trauma, and they were all horrible coping mechanisms, but in the end, I got through. And maybe reading some of the things that I wrote out loud to other people, or you guys, if I could just help them realize that you have to believe that it can get better. You have to. You have to hang in there, there's so many blogs, don't do it, wait till tomorrow, suicide prevention, and, I can't tell you not to do it, but I do think that if I could have since I got over my major depression, which lasted years, with trauma, I know anyone can do it. I know that anybody can. And it really is just time. Time eventually has a way of healing itself, even if it does take a decade. So I'm going to go ahead and put my blog in the comment below and then see what happens. And then later today, I'm actually going to probably start off by reading the first entry, with an additional video, the first entry that I wrote 1 week after Matt had died. So I really appreciate you guys listening, and well, thanks for watching, and I'll have another video soon.